National Gallery of Modern Art, which is actually the repository of the cultural ethos of the country and showcases all those major disciplines that form part of the creative endeavor. Well, it's a great day in this history, as architecture is today being celebrated as one of the major disciplines with the retrospective of V Doshi. Doshi's upbringing in the traditional environment of this country, understanding and imbibing the true nuances that our true culture was able to impart, and his larger understanding of the international scenario working with Le Corbusier and many other important architects in the international arena have truly contributed in him being able to devise a language so pertinent to himself and individualized in the context of this country. This language is able to truly showcase some of the major contributions that he has made in the architectural discipline. What is fascinating about this exhibition is how someone like V Doshi, who came from a traditional environment, has managed to imbibe the sensibilities of the West and has still been able to retain his true inner vitality and the fragrance of what can be called Indian as part of his creative expression. This retrospective truly spells out and showcases the 6 decades of the oeuvre of this artist in its various facets. It's been painstakingly and lovingly curated by Kushnu Hoof, and I'm confident that this would truly provide the viewers and the people at large a deep and a proper insight into what actually goes behind the creative discipline called architecture.
We are sitting in an interior landscape, unusual one. There are no trees, but there is a lot of open space. And all the walls that you see around are covered with photographs and models and kind of places which are buildings. When I said landscape, because it doesn't have a linear path. We don't have to go in the straight line like everybody else goes. But here is a place where you choose where you want to go, or you can revisit the place. You can come from anywhere. You can go anywhere. You can look around, ponder, see things, and question. Actually, this is a display of my work of the last 60 years. It's a retrospective. So I had to put from the very beginning till the present day my work so that all of us can look at it and raise questions. What does it do? It creates interactions. It creates dialogue. It creates back and forth questioning. And I think the purpose of this was that I have never done only one kind of a work at one time. My work has been from small house to large cities, from a smaller institution to campuses, private houses of very different natures. I took the choice of doing different works, constantly challenging them, because in that challenge the only common factor was the human being, the scale of the human being, the cosmic forces and the needs of people at different scales, which include their lifestyles, their behavioral patterns, and their connection to what they want to pursue. There is a difference between sound and music. When something hits our heart, our ears and our senses, we say, yes, it is musical. Similarly, there is a difference between an ordinary building, a good building, a beautiful building, and then a building which is memorable. And architecture is that kind of a question. What you remember, what you cherish, what you want to go back again. Now, how does it happen? Actually, it's not a mechanical process. It's a process of a designer who is thoughtful, who is cultural, who is sensitive. What does he do? He looks at the earth, he looks at the sky, he looks at the breeze, he looks at the light, he even looks at the rain and the air and the surrounding landscape. Now, when he assimilates all this together, when he puts this together in a certain proportion and then gives it a character and then creates the space in which there are windows, there are openings, there are connections to the ground, to sky, and you begin to feel constantly connected with these cosmic forces. Then you say that that space, that building, that character of that building is architecture. I'm quite amazed the way we live our lives. We don't even know which world do we live. Because when we are in our homes, we touch the walls, meet people, shake hands. We don't realize that's the real world. Then there is another world that we have seen somewhere, but it is not there. We imagine. There is a scope, but that is, we cannot immediately touch, connect. And that to me is virtual world. And then there is another world which sometimes we call saying, oh, it's a dream. Actually, it's not necessarily a dream, it's a glimpse of a dream, and that is an imaginary world. And I think all these three worlds exist in our buildings. They don't exist in work of art. They don't exist in the work of any other arts like dance, music, because they are real there and they disappear. But architecture is one world where you go through the place and then you see something and you don't. Sometimes, you have images which are happening there and they are not there. And I think I call, therefore, architecture as really the real world because you can touch, you can feel, you can reconnect. And I think if one has to look at the exhibition of architects or architecture, it cannot be like any other place. Like paintings you can hang. You can take them away, put them back on the wall, again you can take them back to the gallery. Architecture has context. It is rooted in a place. We cannot take that building and plant it here. There is a smell, there is taste, there is color, there is trees. All those things of architecture are such that they are rooted. But then, how does one exhibit? And that's why we call this place a landscape. In this exhibition, you will see what architecture can be and how it can teach us or give us a joy, because then only we are experiencing all the rasas. And when you enjoy that rasa, then we are celebrating it. And what are we celebrating is this whole world around here. And it is a world of many buildings, many types, many situations, many stories, many experiences. And that is what we call habitat.